Last month, we talked about the San Antonio housing market hitting a reset in January. Sales slowed, prices pulled back, and the market shifted towards balance. But February's numbers give us our first clue about what happens next. And the answer might surprise you. Prices ticked back up, pending contracts jumped, and inventory actually tightened slightly. So the big question is now, was January just a pause before the spring market starts building again? Let's get started. Okay, first and foremost, we are looking at all the data through February 2026. Today is March 11th, 2026. And as you can see here, we're still close to that balanced market. We did lose a little bit of ground here. Instead of having closer to that 5 months worth of inventory, we lost a little bit of inventory here. We're at 4.79 months worth of inventory. As you can see, less than a full percent, less than a full percentage point month over month loss in inventory. So a little bit less competition amongst sellers. This is a good thing for sellers, not so great for buyers. Okay, less competition for sellers. Sold to list price ratio 97%. So sellers that are going under contract are getting close to that 100% of their list price, and this is actually up from last month, 0.42, almost a percentage point there. Days on market are still rising, so not good news for sellers. 78 days on the market, 4% month over month. And the typical home in San Antonio is selling for about $285,000. That is up 3.64% month over month. Quite natural for this time of year as we move into the summer months and some of our larger homes get on the market. Estimated property values sitting at about $288,970, and values overall holding pretty steady, almost at a zero. So 0.2% loss in estimated property value month over month, and 0.4% loss for the 12 months. So we're really just stagnant there, and property values not going up, not coming down a whole lot. And then shifting into new listings. These are newly listed homes in San Antonio. We're looking at a typical list price of $299,999, and the number of properties coming in as new listings in San Antonio, 2,232 properties were listed newly in San Antonio for February 2026, and that is down 9.3% month over month. So we're not seeing as many new listings this time in February. We're looking back here. We'll go back one year here. So we had about 2,600 properties. So about 400 less properties this year listed in February than we did last year in 2025. Active listings, another big indicator here for the market where it's heading. Homes listed on the market past 10 days. These homes, we're looking at 7,946 properties. That is, again, we're down 1.2% month over month. So fewer homes listed or making that active listing list this month. So we're losing some of those homes that are in that pool that's, if you want to call them stale listings. We're losing some of those listings. They're not being replaced as quickly as they were before. We'll see if that trend continues. And then new pending listings. These are down. Okay, this is good news for buyers. If you're looking for an indicator, new pending listings in February are down 6.2% month over month. So that adds a little more pressure amongst those sellers still on the market. The list price for those new pending listings, $299,990. That is up a little bit, 3.4% month over month. But the number of properties is the big news for pending listings. That's down 6.2% month over month. Now, then pending listings, these were homes that were already pending in February, and that's up. Okay, so we had some interest rate movement before this, and I attribute this movement here to those interest rates. 10.6% month over month increase in pending sales. So these are going to be your new sold listings. Okay, we'll see a spike in sales in later market reports. So for April, We'll see a lot of these closed here in March and added to increase in sales. But these pending listings came in at about a $300,000 median list price. And then sold listings ticked up. Okay, last market report we saw a big dive in sold listings, but now we're kind of looking at a little rebound here in sales, 3.8% month over month. Number of properties sold, 1,153 properties. So here's the takeaway from the February numbers. January showed us a market that hit a reset. February gives us our first signals about what happens next. Prices ticked back up slightly. Sales activity improved from last month, and inventory tightened just a little bit. But at the same time, homes are still taking longer to sell, and overall values are mostly flat. What that tells me is this: the San Antonio housing market isn't surging and it isn't collapsing. It's stabilizing. For buyers, that means you still have options and negotiating power, especially on homes that have been sitting on the market for a while. For sellers, it means strategy matters more than ever. Pricing correctly and presenting the home well is what separates homes that sell from ones that sit. And one thing I'll be watching closely over the next couple of months is pending contracts. If those continue to rise, that usually signals the early stages of spring market building momentum. So the big question now is whether February was the start of that shift or just a temporary bounce. We'll find out soon. If you're thinking about buying or selling this year and you want to understand what your home might be worth in today's market, you can request a personalized home value and strategy at homevaluetx.net. And if you find these updates helpful, I'll keep tracking the numbers every month so you don't have to. See you in the next market report video.